Alabama sports, Tide 100.9, and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
All right, if you're in your phone, you gotta go on right now. All right.
Good morning. Welcome into the Martin Houston Show on Tide 100.9 on your radio dial, the Martin Houston Show fan page on YouTube and on Facebook at Martin Houston Live and at Martin Houston 35 on Twitter. It is a Thursday morning. We're live and local, but we're spanning from coast to coast. And I have X's and O's, Xavier Houston, joining me again today. So we're broadcasting from just outside of Miami, all the way up to beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Good morning, X. Welcome into the program. How you doing, sir?
Good morning. I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing well. Reminding you that this is the day that the Lord has made, so let's rejoice and be glad in it. Take some time today to notice someone, love someone, serve someone, be the difference you want to see in the world today. It's pretty awesome. Yesterday we kind of start the show off unintentionally a little intense with conversation around B-Rob and of course Curtis Lewis called in and was right in one aspect of we need to run the ball outside. We need to run the ball on the edges. We need to spread them out, etc. And of course, he doesn't think B-Rob can do it. And we're going to dig into that a little bit more this morning, you and I, from a B-Rob standpoint. We also can talk about key matchups this week and hoping that the O-line is ready. And talk about how and what we think that Bill O'Brien can do to help that O-line. It's interesting that we hadn't had much to say about old Pete Golding this week, but Pete will be key to victory for the Alabama Crimson Tide this week. So we'll talk about that. We'll also have Hank South 247 Sports Bama Online Recruiting joining us later on in the program, kicking off the second half of the game this morning on the Martin Houston Show. So remember this, that Taco Casa hotline is open, whether we have guest or not, co-host or not. So give us a call on the Taco Casa hotline at 205-342-9904, 205-342-9902, not 4, sorry. Had a COVID moment. 205-342-9904. The Taco Casa hotline is open for business. Hey, let's quickly talk a little bit about the Brian Robinson conversation and how we can use it. I remember Brian Robinson. I was impressed with this young man from high school from the first time I saw him. And the reason I was impressed with him was not his athletic ability. It was not not the way he ran the ball. I watched you played against him. Your brother played against him. Simeon played against him, and we played him. I never forget the game over at Northridge, and the game started off, and he's clearly the most talented kid on the field. Yeah. And the coach used him, put him at wide out, okay, and used him as a decoy. Then the coach turned around and used him at running back to fake and throw a pass. And then the coach threw the ball to him. I think it may have been his second possession before he actually did what he did and run the ball. And you never saw any lack of effort in any of those attempts. In other words, he didn't pick up his game and go harder when he was in the backfield and getting the ball. whatever he was asked to do as a teammate, that's what he did. And now we're looking at Brian Robinson, and we say he can't do anything. And this is on two parts. And Joe, you may want to jump in on the second part of the conversation. We say that Brian Robinson, he got 1,000 yards, and we see that Roydell in the game he wasn't in got like 125 yards. So Brian Robinson would be sitting at, somewhere between 1,100 and 1,200 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, right? He'd be sitting at somewhere between 1,100 and 1,200 yards if he doesn't miss that game. Behind an O-line, listen to what we've complained about. Behind an O-line that we say is not anywhere near as talented as last year's O-line.
Potentially the worst O-line that Saban's had.
Right. And we say we don't run the ball outside. And we say we don't use them in the screen and we don't use any screens or draws. And we have no creativity in our offense. And then our quarterback, on the other hand, has still been record-setting. And we say it's the worst pass protection team. So I don't know what else you do with Brian Robinson. When I would say, what percentage of touches do you think he gets where he gets 0 to no yards, and he's still averaging almost 5 yards a carry?
Yeah, I mean, a lot. For a guy still averaging 4.9 a carry, which is, a sneeze away from that proverbial 5 yards a carry, behind what a lot of people have classified as the worst offensive lineman Nick Saban has had in a long time at Alabama, if ever.
Right.
You're talking about last year's offensive line the 2019 offensive line that rivaled the 2012 offensive line that held the title for the best offensive line ever.
Right.
And as we said, 1,016 yards in 11 games. He's averaging over 90 yards a game behind this offensive line.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, except for Ekiyor, the 4 linemen from last year will be what? First and second rounders?
Well, Deontay Brown went later. I think he was a 5th round pick.
That's what I'm saying. Other than him, I said Ekiyor. But Deontay Brown,
who
Dickerson
was an absolute.
He would have been. But he would have been a first rounder had he not got hurt. He was the second rounder on knee surgery. Leatherwood and Evan Neal. All of those guys are going to be, all of them going to be NFL starters in their first, second, or third year in the league. And that's what we ran behind and threw behind last year. So like I said, it's interesting. We got a caller, Xavier, but I want us to come back to the Brian Robinson thing just a second. But that's Greg from Alabaster, I think. Greg from Alabaster, you're in with the Martin Houston Show. What's on your mind, sir?
Good morning, Martin.
Good morning, sir.
Talking about Alabama's offensive line, they're not great, but they do just enough to make them effective. And my question is, and it's just food for thought. The last 3, 4, 5 games, give or take, from in this neighborhood, wherever, this lack of production and Bryce running for his life, so to speak. Do you think our game plans were basically tailored to start gearing up for Georgia? Because we knew the pressure that they would bring, and to get those guys toughened up and ready for this kind of stuff.
Well, I don't know that the game plan was for them. I don't think we adjusted. And this may be what you're saying, Greg. I don't think we put in things that we will do against Georgia thinking we would be good enough to beat those teams. And then we could, because there's no way. I even talked to a coach yesterday, and we were like, we hope that those guys who are making millions of dollars know to add certain types of plays. And we're going to talk about that in the second quarter, Greg. What are some of the things that Alabama can and should do if they're going to beat Georgia? Because if we try to play Georgia the way we played the last few games, you're right. And this, hey, asking an offensive line to block these guys is a tall task. Xavier, I get your thoughts on that. It's a tough time to be an offensive lineman with this philosophy that we play with right now. Xavier, I'll let you respond to Greg.
Yeah, it's possible that we were looking at trying to prep for Georgia, but Arkansas and Auburn aren't teams that you can really do that against, in my opinion. You know, Arkansas, who has had a very good season this year, by their standards, was going to come and give it their all, and they did. And that's why it was as close as the game as it was. So hopefully we weren't doing it in that game. And then Auburn being the rivalry game, playing down in Jordan Hare is definitely not the type of place that you want to be preparing for someone else. And I really hope that wasn't the reason why we played as bad as we did, especially with the offensive line, because that Georgia can do the exact same thing and more than what Auburn did.
I think Greg is talking about from the toughening them up standpoint, not necessarily from the play calling. Is that what you're asking, Greg?
Yeah, that's more my point, because when you look at Georgia, they want to play a big physical, we're going to wear you down, we're going to beat you down just because we're so much bigger and stronger you are. So if we're playing in that box, let's get used to playing in that phone booth, the old proverbial phone booth. Let's slug it out. Because Arkansas can be explosive. We saw that. We knew Auburn wasn't going to be very explosive. And I guess my bigger point to this is that I was going to kind of get to is when you look at Georgia's offensive numbers, they're only averaging, 442 yards of offensive game?
Yeah.
They're not an offensive juggernaut. So we know this is going to be a knockdown, slug it out, grind it out game.
Greg,
they're very balanced. They're a very balanced offense. They average more rushing yards than they do passing yards.
And I have to reset, Xavier. I said that they hadn't played a tough team. They actually played one tough defense. Clemson, and they didn't score. They didn't move the ball, and that's what I think can happen Saturday, Greg, is that we can make their offense a pedestrian, and I hope that we've shown Georgia, hey, we're not going to change anything, and then on Saturday we've been working behind the scenes on some screens, some draws, and some other things. And we're going to talk about that in the second quarter. You got anything else before I let you go, Greg?
No. Well, two other points that I thought. When you look inside their numbers, they're averaging fumbling the ball. Not that they lose it, but they're averaging fumbling the ball basically a little over one time a game. And between J.T. Daniels and Bennett, they've thrown 10 interceptions between the two of them this year.
Yeah.
So there's a potential for 2 turnovers in this game that can be huge. I think when you circle what their offense does and what their turnover ratio, or at least putting the ball on the ground or putting it up in the air for someone to for the opposing team to catch, I think those are 3 big circles right there. You need to circle and just kind of hold it whole, because I think it will put them at a disadvantage, because if they have to start playing catch up to it, I don't think they'll be able to do it because they're just not built that way.
I agree, and I predicted that we'd have a turnover for a touchdown in this game, or set up a really easy score. Thanks, Greg. I appreciate that. It's great insight, man. Call back anytime.
Appreciate it, Martin.
Appreciate it. All right. Hey, coming back on the other side, we'll continue the conversation. We can continue the conversation about B-Raw. We can continue the conversation about what Alabama needs to do. And we got Tom holding all of that. We still invite you to join us on the conversation at 205-342-9904.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, we start this Thursday morning with a pretty serious wreck on 2059 westbound at exit 97. Vehicles are off on the shoulder now, but you can expect some delays. If you do see other conditions, please give us a call, 205-886-8886. It's a brand new month. That means brand new deals and great savings at your hometown dealer. That's Townsend Nissan of Tuscaloosa, and I'm Captain Ray.
Wrap up the savings now during the JCPenney Friends and Family Sale. Through Wednesday, make everyone's spirit bright with an extra 30% off coupon. Pack more for less with the Protocol Simmons 5-piece luggage set, now $109.99. Plus, get glam and save up to 60% on diamond solitaires and studs. These savings are yours when you use your 30% off coupon. Joy, comfort, peace. JCPenney. Offers valid on select items in 12/8. Offers reflect after coupon savings. Exclusions apply. See store or jcp.com for details.
5G is here, but the big carriers want you to sign a pricey long-term contract to get access. Well, not anymore, because Straight Talk Wireless has rolled out 5G coverage nationwide, with plans starting at just $35 a month and no contract. Plus, get a Samsung Galaxy A32 5G for $299, all on America's best networks. 5G coverage, 5G phones, less money. Straight Talk Wireless, no contract, no compromise. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary.
You're listening to Tide 100.9. Are you in the holiday spirit? Check out Tuscaloosa's Home for the Holidays on Nick 97.5. All Christmas songs 24/7.
Hey, Chrissy, it's Leo. We're going to need some backup on Friday night, okay?
Leo's Limos needs to say I do to 4 commercial drivers.
You booked another wedding on Saturday?
Before wedding season.
No. I'll make it work.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. With Indeed Instant Match, we immediately show you quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed meet your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Tide 100.9 Tuscaloosa weather.
The weather stays unseasonably mild through the weekend. A good supply of sunshine today with a high at 74. For tonight, fair with a low at 49. Tomorrow and Saturday, mostly sunny both days. Highs between 73 and 76. I'm James Spann with the ABC 3340 Weather Center on Tide 100.9. It's 45 degrees in Tuscaloosa.
Scott Smith and Sophomart Design, doing business for 17 plus years, specializing in graphic design services, commercial printing, promotional products, advertising specialties, and so much more. Basically, any and everything you would need to advertise, promote, and grow your business. Through strong partnerships, strong customer service, and creative ideas, they'll help you market and grow your business. Give Scott a call at 205-292-4680 or email scottis@comcast.net and visit them online at sophmartdesign.com. Hello, I'm Martin Houston. And while I get really excited about football season, I love the holiday season even more. Merry Christmas from the Tide 109 family and the Martin Houston Show. Roll Tide. Welcome back in. It's the Martin Houston Show with X's and O's. Xavier Houston, Virgil Williams said, we can't have a slow start to this game. We have got to come out and make a statement on both sides of the ball. I believe if we put the ball in the end zone in the first or second drive, we put them on their heels. I'm agreeing with you. I think if we can jump out and have some success early, we'll be in their head, because this team still is wondering, can they beat us? They're thinking, can we beat them? Can we beat them? If we put some doubt in, we can multiply on it. I got 3 calls I got to get to in a quick time, so let's bring in Tom. Tom, you in with the Martin Houston Show with the X's and O's. Xavier Houston, what's on your mind, sir?
Hey, Mark. Hey, how are y'all this morning?
Doing well.
Doing good.
Hey, good. You know, this is a familiar story. I've heard it before. I've seen this movie. And Alabama can't do this. Alabama can't do that. Alabama this, Alabama that. All of it's bad. In 1992, I remember everybody, that's the worst 11-0 team that's ever been in the history of college football. They ain't got a chance. They've got people hurt. They can't do this. They can't throw the ball. They can't They can't. And you know what? You and your teammates went to New Orleans and handed Miami's rear end to them on the silver platter on that I can't feel. And,
right.
I'm sick of hearing it, what we can't do. I've been watching Alabama for years, and I've heard people say a million times, they can't, and they did. And so I'm expecting the same thing this weekend, too. Everybody's talking about we can't, but we will. And and I tell you, the 92 team, we had a bunch of games on there that we probably could have won 40-0, but we did.
Right.
And could have. And they were all close. People like me was in the stands. I'm sweating bullets. Oh, my Lord, Louisiana Tech's going to beat us. Oh, what are we going to do? We'll never beat them. Guess what? We put it out in the end. We did that all year. And you know what? I learned from Coach Bowman. The fun is the winning.
Yes.
11-1, people. 11-1. Going to the SEC championship game. Come on now.
Good stuff, Tom. I agree with you. I think there's a lot more we can do. I'm not saying what we can't do. I'm saying there's a lot more that I think this offense can do. And I think we just played our best defensive game, and we've been building up. And I think if we bring that to it and we bring the offense, then this is gonna be a good game. I don't think we're gonna blow them out, but we definitely can walk away from the dome with the victory.
You know what I've said in the past about 92 championships.
Yep.
You know how I feel about that. If you come out, John Copeland and Jay Barker, and everybody's on that team that should be in the Hall of Fame, by the way, and all of them should be, is what I'm saying. But if you come out and you say something, hey, that's credible to me because of your credentials and your history, okay? Now, I'm listening to you. But I'm also hearing a lot of they caners out there, and I just don't like that when it comes to Alabama. Yeah, we may get beat. But you know what? We can't get beat on Thursday and Friday.
All right, Tom, I appreciate it. Thanks for bringing some.
Enjoy it.
All right, thanks. That's Tom bringing a little challenge to the Bama folks. Get on board so you don't have to come back and eat crow on Monday. All right, Curtis Lewis, you're in with the Martin Hughes Show with Xavier of X's and O's Sports. What's on your mind, sir?
Hey, boy, I think Tom drinks early in the morning. So, what would you put our coordinators at in the SEC as far as what would you rank them at?
I mean, I what's the name would be in the bottom, without a doubt, O'Brien. And from a result of what has happened this year, I'd have to put Pete Golding up in that top defensively, top 2 or 3 coordinators from what he has produced on the field this year. Now, in the back of my mind, I still can't understand why we've had so many busts. But you know what? We finally played a game without those busts, and we look like Bama defensive old. Our front seven, from a run standpoint, Curtis, has been playing that way all year. We just always gave up a bust. You take the bust away, but you can't. But if you take those away, and we would have been dominating, defenses, and May would even have challenged Georgia for the number 1 defense in the SEC. If we didn't have but you know what? If ifs and buts were nuts, everyone would have a Merry Christmas. So with that's the reason I would still put Pete probably in the top 2 or 3, and we'll probably put O'Brien in the bottom 2 or 3 because I could coordinate our offense to a certain extent because of the way he calls the game. What's your thoughts?
I think they got Pete and O'Brien at 5th. Pete is not in the top 2 or 3. But they got him at 5th. And yes, we have 4th as far as defense against the rush. But that's not where we're at against the pass. We are 20th in the nation in total defense. Okay. And that's fine. 20th is good if you're Auburn or if you are somebody who don't normally have a great defense, but that's not good for us. Being 20th is not a great deal, and how we played against Auburn is not a measurement of how good we are or how bad we are. Because Auburn played with a gimp at quarterback, and they had no receivers, and their running game was anemic anyway. So we really can't gauge that against what we did in our last game.
But I'm not gauging it against.
Set the defense.
I'm not gauging it.
Have to set the stage.
Hey, but Curtis, I'm not gauging it against how we did against Auburn. What we did against Auburn is what we've been doing all year, except for the busted plays, huh?
Against the rush, we were getting blown up on the pass.
Right, and that's why I said that the pass is go ahead, Xavier. The pass is questionable.
Yeah, I mean, the pass defense is what has hurt us. It's not the run game. No team has ran on us with success. You know, Arkansas, that's their bread and butter. They didn't do it. Tennessee didn't do it. Texas A&M didn't run the ball successfully on us. Ole Miss had great.
Ran for 190 yards.
Ole Miss?
210 on Ole Miss. Yeah, we ran for 210. Ole Miss ran for 190.
That's one game.
Running the ball.
But that was 2 games. But their bread and butter was throwing the ball, and we stopped them from being successful throwing it. But I mean,
they well-rounded team. Their bread and butter is offense. They
right.
Number one rushing team in the SEC last year. So they're not just a passing team. If they look like it, they're not.
Right, I agree.
It's going to come down to our defense setting the tone in this game. It's going to be up to not the offense.
I agree.
It's down to the defense. And the defense has got to make it hard on Kirby because we know Kirby is a great recruiter. We know Kirby would talk some smack in the locker room, but we also know Kirby is not very good at calling that game on game day. We get some pressure on him.
Especially at halftime. Do you realize, Curtis, and I have to get to another call. You know, we've been ahead of Georgia has been ahead of us. We beat Georgia 6 times in a row. Last time we were underdog was against Georgia and Mark Richt. 6 straight times they have led us at halftime, and we've come back and beat them. So if we get ahead and put that kind of pressure on them, I think it's even better. And so you're right. I think defense sets the tone for the day. And if offense we can just think out the box a little bit. Hey, I got the run, but yeah, I agree. I think defense, Curtis, sets the tone without a doubt. And I'm hoping that they do that against the run against Georgia.
And to wrap it up, Alabama's actually number 7 in total defense. I think we're number 20 in pass defense.
They're number 7 in total defense in the SEC.
No. In the country.
Total defense.
No.
The country.
No, we're number
7 in the country.
So,
Georgia, Wisconsin, Oklahoma State, Minnesota, and Air Force are in front of us, and Houston are in front of us.
So yeah, our defense is we just bust plays.
It's the big plays.
It's the big busted plays that kills us. If you take those out, you're going to take out a lot of yardage and a lot of points. But
an awful lot of busted plays.
Unfortunately, you just nailed it. Unfortunately, we've had a lot of busted plays. Let me get to Robert. Thanks, Curtis. All right. Hey, Robert, you in with the Martin Hughes Show. What's on your mind, sir? Hey, Robert, you there?
Yeah. Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me? Oh. Yeah, that's the number 7 in the country. I always moved up. Whenever I see that, I move up 3 more points. So we're number 4 because the other ones above us used to say ECU, and so that doesn't matter, Okay, so I'll move us up another 3 points, so we're really number 4. Alabama's only the underdog in this game for one reason, and that's our offensive line. This is the way we always said this is the worst offensive line in the Nick Saban recruiting era.
Yeah.
And if our offensive line was better play, Bryce Young would easily win the Heisman, and we'd be a 3-point favorite in this game. But it's offensive line. It's also, like you just said, it's offensive line to keep Brian Robinson numbers low because they guys get hit when he goes in the backfield.
somebody's already there to meet them. Is the offensive line. If the offensive line improves just a little bit, give Bryce Young just one more second, then this could be an entirely different game.
Yes.
Now, ironically, everybody that's left on Alabama's schedule actually matches up well for it. To the championship, actually matches up well for it. We don't have a Deshaun Watson to go up against this year, or a Joe Burrow, or even Ohio State's quarterback from last year.
Right.
The stud quarterback that could light it up from any direction.
Right.
That's not out there this year. It'll be so. If it was an average year team, well, we'd be favored by a bunch. And we would forward this team.
Yeah.
I wish everything was normal, like it used to.
Well, maybe we can pull it all together, Robert, on Saturday. Maybe that, as you say, maybe the O-line, and Robert, I am convinced that little bit that you're talking about resides in the play calling. I believe the play calling can help that O-line if you make them hesitate just a little bit. When you don't have to hesitate as a defensive lineman, think about guys who are average pass rushers or below average, but become really good to great pass rushers when your team is down by 3 touchdowns, and you know that the other team has to pass the ball. They become elite pass rushers, right? Because they know that you're gonna be dropping back and passing the ball, and if you don't roll out, then they're just coming to tackle the quarterback. And the coach I was talking to yesterday said, meet at what they call the mesh point. The mesh point is where the quarterback's drop is when you run RPOs. It's right where you exchange the ball between the quarterback and the running back. And Alabama's mesh point is within 2 yards of where Bryce drops back to pass. So if you're going there to sack him, if they hand it off, you're hitting the running back. And that's it. But if you slow that down or change that or move that, then all of a sudden you have an advantage, and our offensive line plays a little bit better, and that's what we need.
And another question for you: Do you think maybe we just simplify it down? A run just has to be a run. A pass is going the line knows the run's going to run. A pass is going to be a pass, and there's no RPO.
I don't think we totally take the RPO out, but yes, I think we have to have called runs, like on point blank, and not just on 4th down. And that's when we've had call runs.
Just simplify it a bit and make because with the RPO, the blockers can only go 3 yards.
Yes.
So now I can push this guy in the end zone if I can.
Yeah. Right.
Because I know it's going to be a run, so I don't have to worry about not make sure I don't go too far up the field.
Robert, and think about this: if you can only go 3 yards, how far can you really fire off?
Right.
If you take one good step and you hit that guy and he gives you're 3 yards. If you fire off and you don't get him and you miss him, you're 3+ yards. So you play it's a gauge game, And Jed Cohen, and I got to go after this, Robert. Jed Cohen said, and call run plays to the left side of the line consistently. I don't understand why we run our short yardage plays to the left side or make it to the right side of our offensive line and make it obvious when we're going to run it left. But anyway, hey, I got to get the break here so we can get to Hank South. But thanks, Robert, for that insight. Yes, simplify, and add a few other plays. Coming back on the other side, we'll have Hank South 247 Sports, Bama Online Recruiting.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, we start this Thursday morning with a pretty serious wreck on 2059 westbound. At exit 97, vehicles are off on the shoulder now, but you can expect some delays. If you do see other conditions, please give us a call, 205-886-8886. It's a brand new month. That means brand new deals and great savings at your hometown dealer. That's Townsend Nissan of Tuscaloosa, and I'm Captain Ray.
Hello, this is Martin Houston with the Martin Houston Show, and I want to tell you about one of our great sponsors, Overflow Express Wash. Their mission is to provide great customer service with a showroom clean car and an exceptional customer service experience. They have the basic car wash that starts at $7, but you need to get premium wash packages, which start as low as $12 and go up to $20. They also have a membership wash club that you can get for starting at $23.99, going up to $39.99. In other words, just double the regular premium package, drop a penny, and you can be one of the great members of Overflow Express Wash. My family and I keep our cars looking good inside and out by using Overflow Express Wash. They're located on Skyland Boulevard right next door to Alabama 1, or you can find them online at overflowexpresswash.com. Andy Phillips and his team look forward to making you a part of their team.
The city of Tuscaloosa's favorite outdoor ice skating rink is back and better than ever in a new location. Come find us at Government Plaza from November 22nd through January 17th. Skate passes and season tickets can be purchased at holidaysontheplaza.com and make great stocking stuffers. Looking to host a private party or celebration? We've got you covered. Learn more about private party packages at holidaysontheplaza.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? So your wipers are streaking. It might be time for a new set. We've got a great deal to help you get the job done and be ready for the weather ahead. Right now, you can get a $15 AutoZone gift card by mail or email when you buy 2 Bosch and Vision wiper blades. And we've got even more ways to shop. Just order online with our free same-day store pickup or next-day delivery.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Start your job today at AutoZone.com. Restrictions apply.
Nick Saban calls it the process. John Maxwell said that everything rises and falls on it. And Coach Wooden said it's what you learn after you think you know it all that makes the difference. What am I talking about? Leadership and personal development. Is your organization, your school, your church, your family, are they receiving the proper level of leadership development and personal development? If not, the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring can help you with that. We have our pep talks, which is a 1 to 1.5 hour lunch and learn, which we can customize to meet your needs, or we have some topics that we present that we know can help your organization. And if you're looking for one-on-one mentoring and coaching, we can also assist you with that. Visit peptalks35.com. That's peptalks35.com, or send an email to martin@martinhouston.org. That's the Empowerment Center for Leadership and Mentoring. Hello, I'm Martin Houston, and I'm so excited about this time of the year because it represents not just football, but the season of the birth of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. On behalf of Harvest Church and the Martin Houston Show, we want to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and invite you to join Harvest Church on Sundays at 10 a.m. and Wednesdays at 6 p.m., where we're creating and enabling faithful followers of Christ. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from the Martin Houston Show and Harvest Church.
Welcome back into the Martin Houston Show. It is time for our weekly catch-up with Hank South, 247 Sports. And I would assume, and I'm going to have Hank correct me if I'm wrong, but this would be a humongous recruiting weekend. Welcome into the Martin Houston Show. Hank, how you doing, sir?
Hey, good morning, Mark. I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. Man, what kind of craziness going on in the Georgia Dome this weekend? And how does it work as far as being able to invite recruits? Do both teams get to invite them, or is one team considered home and get to invite them like it's a home game?
Yeah, it's kind of like, the season opener when Bama plays on neutral sites. They can provide tickets, can't have any contact with the kids beyond that. So, basically there's an area for recruits to sit. They can give them tickets and they can watch them. So, they can be there. So that's a plus. And, we've seen guys visit before for the SEC championship, or not visit, be there before for the SEC championship games. And yeah, especially this year, with so many heated, Alabama, Georgia recruiting battles, it could be, a big benefit for whichever team wins. So, we'll see kind of who shows up this weekend in Atlanta.
And do you all have any way to track who gave them tickets and whose ticket they came on, Alabama versus Georgia?
Yeah, it's basically, you kind of have to ask the kids. It's not
Okay.
like a list or anything that we get. But, one big name that we learned is going to be there, at least for Alabama, that's, kind of down to Alabama and Georgia, is Ernest Greene, the force offensive lineman from California. He's actually coming to campus today for an unofficial visit. He was on campus a few weeks ago for the Arkansas game on an official visit. He's coming back, spending some more time on campus. Then he's going to go to the SEC championship game on Saturday. So kind of another look at Alabama, multi-day look, and then, see that, Alabama-Georgia game. And he's considering both Alabama and Georgia. Georgia was thought to be kind of the team to beat for a while, but it looks like Alabama might be starting to trend here. So, we'll be keeping an eye on that one.
All right, this is Hank South 247 Sports, Bama Online Recruiting. We got Pat who's been holding. Pat, you're in with Hank South. What's on your mind, sir?
Good morning, Hank. Hey, did you ever get a chance to touch base? Did you ever get a chance to touch base with Micah Tees? That I've talked to him. I talked to his dad and stuff since the thing. It was extremely impressed with Alabama as far as what they've told him about. That if he can come and start at Alabama, that they can get him to the league. Have you been able to touch base with Micah?
Yeah, I talked to him after he took that visit a few weeks ago. I caught up with him. He said it was a mind-blowing trip. That was his quote. I think they really impressed him. He spent time with Jay Valai, the corners coach, and his area recruiter. Bama didn't offer him yet, but they said, he said it would be. He said he would cherish a Bama offer if he got it. He really enjoyed the game. I think he enjoyed the atmosphere. I think he's going to be a guy that comes back this spring and probably summer. I think he's one to watch down the road in the class of 2023. If they make a move on him.
Yeah. He told me that the staff was coming to visit him. I think this spring.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll be out there to see his spring practice and everything, and get some more eyes on him and potentially offer him.
Yeah, I watched some of his film and stuff, and I was about that. Last year he was a difference maker. Last year I didn't realize that the kid was that fast, and but he is a legitimate 4.3, 4.4 guy. And so anyway, this was wanting to touch base with you, see if you had followed up on him but he had a great time in Tuscaloosa. And just like you said, it's fantastic that we can bring in kids like this that come in on their own dime. Alabama has that kind of growing power,
Absolutely.
Anyway, y'all have a blessed day. Thank you for what you're doing, Hank. Have a good one, boy.
Thanks.
Thanks, Pat. X.
Hey, Hank, how you doing this morning?
Hey, Xavier, I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. So, of course, we know the transfer portal has gone absolutely crazy this week. From Alabama losing guys, you go down to Auburn, they've lost a lot, and just all over across the country, especially in Oklahoma. But when you look at I know the big thing that we always talk about are the DBs that we have coming. You see that Elias Ricks has decided to leave LSU. We have the high school seniors that we're recruiting in Denver Harris and Little and Jackson. It looks to be like that the DB coach at USC is out and Lincoln Riley is bringing his DB coach Manning from Oklahoma with him. How does that situation kind of play out with Rick saying, hey, I'm interested in going to Bama, and with Jackson now potentially losing that connection at USC?
Yeah, I think there was a bunch of buzz last week when Rick hit the portal, and people were just saying, "Oh, well, he's going to go to Bama." Bama really hasn't pursued him yet. I think they're kind of waiting to see how the high school guys play out. Obviously, they're in really good shape for Earl Little. That's been known for a long time. I think he's I never say kid's a lock, but I think he's as close to a lock as you could say. But with Damani Jackson, he kind of had that. He went to the Ohio State Michigan game last weekend, and everyone was saying, "Oh, well, Michigan's going to lead now. He had a great time. They looked like they were trending, and then Tuesday night he dropped Michigan, and then now it's Alabama and USC. And I think that's one. I think Lincoln Riley certainly helped, but like you said, they're not retaining their DB coach, or doesn't look like they are at least, which I don't think helped. They're going all out for him, but I think Bama still has that momentum for Damani Jackson as things stand. And then Denver Harris, that's so quiet on him. It's hard to really make a pick. I think the Brian Kelly hire helps LSU, them retaining Corey Raymond, so certainly something that'll help them. Texas has been pushing for him, but I think the two guys they have best chance with are Damani Jackson and Earl Little right now. And then we'll see if they decide to pursue Eli Ricks down the road. There is interest in Alabama on his end. I think Bama's going to look at a lot of these transfer portal guys. When the time comes. Jahmyr Gibbs, the Georgia Tech running back transfer. I think he's another guy Bama might take a look at. He has high interest in Bama, and then we'll see who else hits the portal down the road, because it doesn't look like it's slowing down anytime soon.
Yeah,
and I go ahead, Xavier.
And speaking of that, with Jahmyr Gibbs, if Alabama is showing interest in him and he's showing interest in Alabama, I know I've seen on Twitter Will Anderson Jr.'s mom talking about, hey, he likes Bama. We know this kid's family and all that. Does that impact any of the guys that are currently at Alabama at running back, or the two guys that we have coming in this class? Because you're talking about Brian Robinson being the only guy that has to leave after this football season.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't think so. I think a lot of kids are seeing now the benefit, and this was a big thing with Trey Sanders' recruitment too a few years ago. A lot of these guys are seeing the benefit of running back by committee, not just wearing down your body, being the every down back that, kind of just the workhorse in the backfield. They see kind of the benefit of being able to come in and take a rest and not beat up your body for 3 or 4 years. But Jamarian Miller is another example of that. The recent Bama commit that flipped from Texas. He actually right now he I don't know the kid's name, but he shares the backfield at Tyler Legacy with another D1 kid. So he's kind of used to that, and I think he sees the benefit of it. And if you look back to it, back in February when signing day happened, Kamar Wheaton signed, and you looked at the running back roster they had, it was like, man, how are they going to get all these guys on the field? And you fast forward to now, and that it's Brian Robinson, Trey Sanders, and some converted guys to play running back. So I think this year especially has kind of shown the need to have a pretty loaded running back room. And if they were to pursue a guy like Jahmyr Gibbs, Emmanuel Henderson, he's a guy that he's locked in. Jamarian Miller, I don't think that's going to deter him either. So I think they're trying to load up the position, and we'll see if Gibbs is a guy that they want to bring in as a part of that.
Yeah, speaking of Hank South 247 Sports, Bama online recruiting. And Hank, when you think about running backs, they are the position that you can have one dominant year and be good and still get to the league. And I think the running backs are figuring that out. And then you have an extended career, as you said. Another comment, and then we got a caller I want to get back to. I also think that two things. Three things. I think Jalen Armour Davis, being a young player with multiple years and having a good season. I think Job not necessarily having a great season. And then I think the fact that Kool-Aid McKinstry has emerged a little bit more as a guy that they can win with. I think that's what makes Nick Saban more excited about getting these high school kids versus a second, third year guy from LSU that he could end up losing everybody at the same time. Because when you fast forward, that's what would happen with Armour Davis, McKinstry, and this Rick kid if they all went out at the same time. If they all came in and played well, you could lose all of them at the same time. So it'll be interesting to see. But let's see. We have a caller, I think a first-time caller, Ryan from Virginia Beach. He wants to hold. Nope, never mind. He doesn't have a question for you, Hank. Hank, I will toss it back to you to give us your closing thoughts on the Bama effect and whether or not Alabama is expected any recruits to come out of this commitments coming in the next week or so?
Yeah, no, I think most kids at this point, we're less than 2 weeks from the early signing period. I think most are going to wait. Sometimes kids pop early and, prior to the day and then, have a ceremony. But I think any more commitments we'll probably see in the next couple of weeks will be on December 15th or in that early signing period window. But, it's crazy time. Obviously Bama's folks from the SEC championship game this weekend, so they're not doing as much on the road recruiting as we're seeing with other schools. But, come Sunday, we're going to see Bama hit the road hard and go visit their top targets and commits ahead of December 15th. So good time to join BamaOnline.com. And you can follow me on Twitter at HankSouth247.
All right, that's Hank South at HankSouth247. Best follow in recruiting. Bama Online Recruiting 247 Recruiting. Thanks, Hank. We'll catch up with you next week. And maybe Bama have some good surprise news. Thanks, sir.
Yep, thank you. Bye.
All right, coming back on the other side, we'll give Ryan from Virginia Beach the airwaves and a chance to ask his question. Stay tuned for more on the Martin Houston Show.
Tide 100.9 traffic.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, authorities are still working to clear a wreck on 2059 westbound at exit 97 in Lakeview. Minor delays there. If you see other conditions this morning, please give us a call, 205-886-8886. It's a brand new month. That means brand new deals and great savings at your hometown dealer. That's Townsend Nissan of Tuscaloosa, and I'm Captain Ray.
Here's what's trending on the Tuscaloosa thread.
Good Thursday morning. Controversy continues over hiring practices in Tuscaloosa County government. SCLC Tuscaloosa Chapter President Reverend James Williams addressed pay inequities for minority hires. The concerns are being voiced after the commission approved changes recommended in November. District 4 Commissioner Reginald Murray is suggesting the county move away from a civil service board and adopt a personnel board similar to that used in the city of Tuscaloosa. Don Hartwick, Town Square Meeting in Tuscaloosa.
The free AutoZone Fix Finder service can help troubleshoot the likely cause of your pesky check engine light for free and get you back on the road. Restrictions apply. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Holiday season in Tuscaloosa. It's time to cheer on the Crimson Tide. Another home team you can get behind is Bmw of Tuscaloosa. This Christmas, consider the gift of a lifetime. An immaculate state-of-the-art BMW. Their starting lineup of 2022 BMWs is stacked with all-stars, including 7 sports activity vehicles, each crafted to balance dynamic power, spacious interior, and impeccable design in ways only BMW can. Visit BMWofTuscaloosa.com or stop by to get to know your hometown BMW team.
With so many choices for group or business hotel stays in Tuscaloosa, why not come home to the Country Inn and Suites? All of our rooms and suites have microwaves and refrigerators, spacious work desk, and queen or king size beds. Our complimentary hot breakfast will get anyone's day started off right. We offer some of the best rates and service around, so give John a call at 205-535-2093 for more information. Let us serve all of your lodging needs at the Country Inn and Suites, Tuscaloosa.
I'm Martin Houston, and I really get excited during football season, but nothing excites me as much as the Christmas holiday season. On behalf of the Alabama One family and the Martin Houston Show, we want to wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Please stop by one of our branch locations because we'll be open to serve you throughout the Christmas season. And don't forget, you can visit alabama1.org. And once again, Merry Christmas from Alabama One, one together.
You're back in with the Martin Houston Show, and let's toss it to Ryan for Virginia Beach. Ryan, you're in with the Martin Houston Show with X of X's and O's Sports. What's on your mind, sir?
Hey, good morning. Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving.
We did, and same to you.
Thank you. I was just wondering, I wanted to call in on the Nick Saban show on Thursday, but I never get in. So my question is, since we've got kind of a depleted running back room and our offensive line isn't quite gelling the way that I think everybody thought they would, whatever happened to Alabama running screen passes? Because I know like in 2009, we had a big one against Florida with Mark Ingram, and they had a good defensive line. I remember in 2012, TJ Yeldon screen pass, LSU, when they had a good defense, and like against
Auburn, they were getting in the backfield, so I played football a little bit, but not enough to know the true dynamic of it. But if you've got an aggressive defensive line like Georgia, why not just let them come in, pop out your running back who want to, and try to not beat them that way, but at least loosen them up a little bit.
That's the $1 million question, Ryan, and it has to come down to Nick Saban says that the philosophy is always his, but to me, this has to be Bill O'Brien's philosophy because we've not used the screen game and it makes zero sense. That's one of my keys to victory for this weekend is to use the screen and draw game right at those big, powerful, fast, unblockable defensive linemen of Georgia. X, you got anything real quick? Quickly.
No, I mean that pretty much sums it up. It has to be used as part of the game plan. Otherwise, it's going to be a long day. You have to do something to counteract that defensive front that they have.
Hey, Ryan, and thank you for calling, man. I feel honored to be the fallback from Nick Saban's show, man. I may have to play that audio.
I'm the fallback.
No, thank you for calling, man. I appreciate it. And Roll Tide up in Virginia Beach. Call back anytime, man. Glad to have you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Hey, that's Ryan from Virginia Beach. Asking a question that so many of us is, why are we not running the screen or draw? I don't know. Maybe we're going to see it Saturday. That's X with X's and O's Sports. That's Joe Gaither behind the glass pressing all the right buttons. Hey, remember this. Thanks to all the callers, chatters, listeners, followers, and guests. Remember this. Trust in the Lord always. Lean not your own understanding. All your ways acknowledge him, and he will direct your paths. Roll Tide, and have a blessed day. Make sure you join us tomorrow at 6 a.m. right here on Tide 100.9. Have a good one, X. Have a good one, Joe.
On your home for Alabama sports, Tide 100.9 and streaming on the Tide 100.9 app.
Thanks,
Tide 100.9.
You too. Thanks, Joe.
From the Townsend Nissan Traffic Center, authorities are still working to